Hello and welcome to the recap of Candies and Curses. This is Game Calc episode 16. Channel's Game Calc. This series is called Wishlist Roulette, episode 16. Wow, we're off to a great start. So this is a recap of Candies and Curses, the last game we spun on the roulette wheel, and I'm going to start playing in the background. So I didn't play this one too much. Bounced off it a little bit. First off, didn't totally like it just to begin with, although it grew on me a little bit. It has touch controls where you swipe left, you just keep running left until you hit the wall. You swipe right, you just keep going right until you hit the wall. At least it's not total auto running where you're just running constantly like some games are with these types of controls. Or like, I don't know, I used to play this one, what was it called? I don't remember what it's called. There's a game where you play one level a day and the guy just runs constantly and you just tap to make him change direction. That was a fun game actually. It kind of worked there, but this is like a slightly better version of that. In general, I kind of don't like that. I'd like to have more like normal controls in games, in mobile games. So this one has the thing where you run automatically to the left and right completely. You just keep running. I'm going to fight a boss here. Your flashlight, I don't know if you could tell from the gameplay, your flashlight is what damages the ghosts. So if you have your flashlight beam facing the ghosts, they get damaged. So there's a fine line between like them touching you or you getting your flashlight beam to them first. So there we go. We beat the first boss. So you have to beat a certain number of ghosts in the level to get the boss to spawn, kill the boss, go to the next level. It's kind of a roguelike progression thing where like you if you die permanently. Sorry, I was just reading that for a second. I've never seen that one before. So in between levels, you get a choice of 3 candies or curses. I get so many. It's really weird. Of the 3 choices you get, I get so many curses, which do negative things, and so many things that I don't really know what they do. It's really weird. Sorry, I'm adjusting the audio here. I gotta pause. Yes, there we go. Audio is a little hot tonight for some reason. I apologize for that. All right, back to it. So the controls and the basic format and the size of the level really threw me at first. Like these tiny little levels. You're not like exploring a mansion or using traditional controls. Like I almost feel like this would be better as like a Metroidvania or something with this kind of combat. Or if it was going to be this kind of arcade type, I feel like it'd be nice if it was a little bigger levels or something like that. It reminds me very much of a PSP game called Alien Zombie Death that I am a huge fan of. Loved so much playing that game back in the day. And it's very similar. You jump up and down scaffolds fighting tons and tons of enemies, but in that you have completely normal video game movement, like, you know, you just move your character using a D-pad or the analog stick on the PSP or whatever. And the levels are much larger than this, and there's just a lot more nuance and stuff going on. Though this kind of has a lot going on. You equip your weapon. There's different weapons that do totally different things. They behave totally differently. Like there's a little lantern you get that shoots like fire all around you in a spinning circle. So you have to kind of, instead of just running into the enemies, you have to time it so that the I'm getting hit a lot. I might die. You have to time it so the enemies like run into the fireballs that are spinning around you. So there is some, I want to give them credit for a lot of detail, a lot of different weapons. Those are the 2 I've gotten. I'm assuming the other ones function kind of differently. Not positive on that. Well, at least some do, because there's like some swords or some knives or something you can get as well. And then there's lots of charms you can equip to the weapons as well. So that's cool. Oh, I died. So yeah, now you have to start over again, unless you watch an ad to continue, which is dumb for a roguelike to even have that option. So the other thing that really made me want to quit the game is it has horrible forced ads. I know you didn't see any there. So typically what happens is what just happened. Your first run, there's no ads. Your next run, in between levels, there's forced ads, which is just insane. I can't believe games. I've ran into several games that do this. I can't believe games have forced ads like in between levels that interrupt the action. It's just horrible. I feel like, I don't know if it's an effective money-making monetization model, but it's just horrific in my opinion to have ads that interrupt gameplay like that. Like, I'm all for optional ads to get bonus. Like when you die in this, you get currency you can use to upgrade stuff, and you can double it by watching an ad. I love that kind of stuff. I sometimes use it, I sometimes don't in games. It kind of depends on what the game is like. But I'm all for that. That's perfectly fine. I'm all for watching ads to get rewards just in general. Like, voluntary ads to get rewards. Some games I use it, some games I don't. And I think it's perfectly fine and moral, but forced ads in the middle of gameplay is horrific. And that's what this game has. Once you play one time for free, basically, you're then going to be watching ads, and it's just horrible. So yeah, let's see if we get an ad here. It's a big reason that I'm quitting early, because I just can't take, like, you can't just I'm not going to play this game every night and watch ads in between levels. It's just insane. I can't do it. You can of course pay to remove the ads, which I would be happy to do it in some cases if I was like more interested and into the game in general. But I had my bad first impression. Did start growing on me a little bit, but then I'm not going to pay $10 to remove the ads just to make it playable. I mean, your other option with monetization like this, first off, just make it a paid game. This game kind of has paid game vibes in a way, so I could see it just being a paid game. Maybe I would have paid for it too. Or make it like you can play normal mode for free, and then you got to pay to get the other modes, or you can play the first couple stages. Say you can play like 2 or 3 stages, and then you just get an ending that says like buy the full version to play the full game. And you can do that as many times as you want. But yeah, the model of ads in between these short stages is just crazy. Another game that really has this even more horrifically, there's a game called Tomb of the Mask, which is a really pretty neat game, but it has the same thing horrifically too. Man, it's bad. So yeah, I'm moving on from this. It is cool. It is fun. It does have a lot going on for it, but it has those issues I mentioned just in the gameplay, that I don't really like the swipe controls. These levels are a little too small for my liking. And then I don't know, I could see it as an arcade game with bigger levels, like a game similar to this, but with bigger levels, or as like a Metroidvania or something with this kind of combat. Both would be cool. The way they're doing it here it kind of works, but I wish it was on a bigger scale. And then the huge issue of the ads, it's just terrible. So that's why I'm moving on from this one. Kind of cool, glad I tried it out, but the ads are horrific, and just the general format could use a little tweaking in a way. Yep, there we go. Have an ad for War Robots or something like that. It's kind of freezing and unfreezing here. Interesting. The ad's crashing, which is really weird. That hasn't happened before. Anyway, that's Candies and Curses, and we'll see you for some spins soon.